Good evening and welcome to the Championship Review. I am your host, Carl, as well. I am back after being a couple of weeks off, but we're back after the international break. We've got some loads of games we will discuss on tonight as well, including the Steel City derby earlier on today between Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield United, and also the Friday night's game between Preston against Blackburn Rovers and Lancashire derby as well. We'll talk about Philip Clement's first game as Norwich City manager. They went away to Birmingham City, along with Leicester against Stoke City, and Hull go away to QPR as well too. So yeah, we've got all those games to discuss about as well, including Ipswich Town against Wrexham as well too, and Charlton go away to home to Southampton with Coventry City against West Brom as well too. So we'll see to get our guests on shortly as well. But Alexa, hopefully whoever watching in, hopefully a good evening. Please message in when you want. If you need to hit the like and subscribe button, and also hit the hype button as well too. The growing number to try to get more people on to subscribers on this channel as well. So hopefully we'll get our guests on. I think they're all ready to go. I'm just waiting to see. Yes, that's the thumbs up. We'll get one of them gives us a thumbs up. Let's say good evening to Annie. Annie, good evening.
Good evening, everyone. As you can see, I'm on my phone today because my laptop has decided to not be able to function properly like a proper laptop, so gonna have to get used to this, only hopefully temporarily.
How the hell did you leave your Ethernet cable?
It's a good question. I
This
suppose
is why
it'll remain unanswered.
this is why people like me, right? We always carry spares more than once. As an IT person, you carry spares. That's something you need to learn from there. So
Yeah, I think I've learned that lesson.
you're damn right you do. Especially when you reach 20, that's when your life hits you when you realize you need to have things when you're in the workplace. So. Oh God! Right. Well, let's get our other guests on. And despite both our teams in the Premier League lost this weekend, and I think maybe the saving grace for us is just to vet our viewer by talking on the Championship stuff. Only one of our teams did win. We'll discuss Bristol City later on. Yeah. We know. Let's say good evening to Michael. Michael, good evening.
Hello, how are you both doing?
We'll see. One person was cheering on his team winning, and both our team was bloody win this
I mean,
weekend.
from my perspective, we're still 8 points clear, so I can't really complain all that much. But obviously, I'm not gonna rub it in what happened at Ellen Road today. I think
Don't
Carl's like,
even ask.
let's just
Don't even
forget
do it. Yeah.
Ashton Villa Leeds was a thing today. But yeah, so my neighbour was very kind enough to drop off some spare curry that she'd made. But I was like, that was lovely, but you lit me picked just as you were about to start talking. So, well, bless her. But no, but I'm not doing too bad. Obviously, yesterday at Fulham is annoying, but that's what it is. And by the way, to people who predicted to me, they predict Fulham to go down, not a cat and hell's chance from what I watched yesterday. But we'll wait and see.
Yeah, I'll leave that with Doug on Tuesday when we're on the
Yeah,
20.
I can send you a clip over, so it's fine. But I will say thanks very much, Man City, for bottling it.
Yeah, no, I can't believe Man City bowled there, and I'm surprised that we might be bloody playing against Liverpool in a relegation 6-pointer in a couple of weeks' time. So
Oh God, Doug's that's going to be great. That relegation 6 pointer, Doug's going to be like, oh my effing God.
yeah, well, it could be worse because he's not happy. Livingston got away. Didn't win after a controversial VAR decision at Rangers, and then we've been lost to bloody Aberdeen today.
I saw that. Yeah. So what's the gap? Like 4 points now?
We're not won at Pajotri for over nearly 10 years.
Oh God, maybe it's my fault then because have I seen Horse's last win then when I was there for the Dundee win?
Yeah, Dundee, yeah,
Oh,
and then we drew against Dundee
long
United.
way about saying it's my fault for not being there. Well,
I'm not blaming you, sir. I'm not blaming you per se.
No, that's fair
We
enough.
just didn't have Shanklin today. That was the thing. Shanklin was injured today, so
Yeah.
that was a bit.
So it's safe to say you've had better weekends football wise.
Listen, the only saving grace is at the moment with my beloved Green Bay Packers in the NFL winning at the moment. So that's the only salvation I fucking need after this weekend. So yeah.
Well, I'm sure Annie's going to have a great time thinking about Bristol City 3, Swansea City 0, and Cheltenham Town 1, Bristol Rovers 0. So you know,
I was just going to say, actually, I'm not sure Lawrence Shankland will care, considering he scored the third goal in Scotland.
Yeah, I know, but when Celtic, we were 4 points ahead of Celtic, right? Then
Sorry, he scored the second goal. Sorry.
yeah.
No, it was second goal. Yeah, it was a second goal. Yeah, it's just So I know you couldn't care, but we're in a title race, right? So in a way, against a soon to be departed Martin O'Neill, because he might not be in charge by the next game in the next week. So yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't particularly rate Martin O'Neill that highly, so I'll not speak more of him.
Exactly. Right, let's kick things off with the championship then, boys. Shall we? Right.
Let's get on with it.
Okay, go for it then. So let's start off. I'm going to start off with Friday night's game. Actually, Blackburn Rovers beating actually very good Preston 2-1, and was that actually Preston's first home defeat or they beat the season? Or
No, they lost to Birmingham.
they
Yeah, I
lost
was
to
going to say
Birmingham.
Birmingham went
So
and
this is
won
the
1
second.
0 didn't they?
Yeah, so this is the second defeat. Wow. I have to say, Blackburn played quite well despite everything. But guys, what was your take on it? Blackburn getting the 3 points at Deepdale.
Pretty much deserved, I think. From what I did watch of it, I think that obviously Blackburn, I think, were the ones asking. I think Preston were okay the first 5-10 minutes probably from what I did watch, but from probably that point onwards, I thought Blackburn took control of it, and the commentary made a good mention of the fact that Blackburn have been as good away from home pretty much as Preston have been at home. So if only Blackburn could sort out their home form at Ewood Park, then they might actually go places potentially this season. But no, I think you've got to. Obviously, I think Preston would have been looking relieved to have got in half-time goalless, and then 2 goals within about a minute, which is quite funny, which is just peak Sky Bet Championship, pretty much. Lewis Miller heads, and I believe this was Blackburn's first goal from a cross, I want to say. Cross or a set piece, I think, which is just quite funny. So at least Annie can say Bristol City's not going to break that duck for them. And don't worry, Sunderland have been kings at doing that for teams, breaking ducks for people at the worst possible moments for us. But yeah, goal from a corner from the from the right hand side. Lewis Miller obviously heads it in at the back post. Really fairly good header. And then probably what can be described as what I personally thought was a bit of a comical goal from Preston's North End. Sorry, Preston's North End. From Preston's point of view, I can't. Wow, that makes absolutely no sense.
This is what happens when we've been away for over a fortnight, right? So
yeah, just saying. Well, technically, me and you obviously were on just over a week ago, weren't we?
Yeah, that was our pre-record. We've been on the live for quite.
I saw it go live the other day. I was like, that's a bit late. We recorded that like for well over a week.
I know, but do you know Doug was so ill? So give him credit. He did eventually get up.
I thought you were going to go, but it was Doug sorting it, so it's his mistake. But
yeah, he uploaded it twice, from what I remember, and I think yeah.
Wow, I love that. Did he really?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, good old Doug. Good old Doug. He can just blame the man flu we had. Who knows?
I blame the man flu for that. Yeah, that fucks you over completely. Yeah,
fair. It does really. But yeah, the goal from Alfie Devine. There was 80 seconds from when Lewis Miller hit the back of the net, and then Alfie Devine's goal going in. From what I can remember, I think
it was a divine goal, wasn't it?
Sorry,
it was a divine goal, wasn't it? It's quite divine.
Right, Annie.
I'm pretty sure I've made that joke
Annie,
before.
I am the king of shit dad jokes. You do not want to go down that route, trust me.
Oh no! I know you're the king of shit that jokes, but I think the king shit that jokes is Doug.
Yeah, he's literally dad jokes. Yeah.
I
love the way that they're called dad jokes, but yeah, it's pretty much just a long scramble into the box, really, and then Devine then takes a shot, and I think it just sort of, and then I think who was it who tries to stop it going in on the line? I'm trying to remember who it was, but I'm pretty sure that it was. I'm trying to see if it says on the match report, really, because. And by the way, just for clarification, guys, I've literally seen the championship highlights. I had to scramble to get them watched before coming on here. So I had to skip back over Preston, Blackburn. But actually, what am I talking about? I'm talking shit. Hang on. Let's see if I can quickly describe it for you. Where is it gone? It was really much near the end of the championship. Yeah. QPR Hull. Get out of the way. There we go. Right, hang on. Oh, of course it goes further than what I wanted it to. Right, here we go. So Lewis Miller's goal. Let's see. God's sake. Oh, yeah, now I remember. Okay, so Alfie... oh, my God. Right, so Alfie Devine pretty much takes a shot. It looks like it's going towards the back post. And then I don't know who it is for Blackburn, but someone looks like they're dancing on the line to try and get the ball, to keep the ball out of the goal, but it fails miserably. It pretty much just goes just enough over the line, so goal line technology is pretty much used there. So obviously the worst time for Blackburn to concede right before half-time. But to be fair, though... Blackburn second half I thought responded fairly well to it, and not only in the same. So before Friday night, I believe they hadn't scored from a cross all season, and then they scored twice from crosses in one game. So again, peak championship. And I don't know if either of you are going to try and pronounce the name of the winning goal scorer because
It was Ainsley. It was actually beating
Andrew
Sean McCauley on the line. Actually, so Sean McCauley tried to clear it before it went in. It went across the line.
Right,
So
okay, then fair enough. Then what about the winning goal scorer? What's his name? Andrew Goodorson?
Andrew
Johnson, isn't it?
Johnson's son. Yeah, Andrew Johnson's son.
Goodorson. Going on, was it good? Joe Henson.
Good Johnson.
That sounds much better.
Yeah.
That sounds much better. But yeah, that was a pretty good. It was pretty much unmarked at the back post, but still, it's a great. Still, you've got to head it into the back of the net. And actually, to be fair, from there, Preston I didn't think offered all that much to try and get back into the game. But in general, I think you could say that although it's a really good win for Blackburn at a ground where Preston before last Friday night had only lost once at Deepdale all season against Birmingham, and I think, like I said, with Blackburn, they're a weird team really because they can clearly get good results when they need to. It's just at home, and I don't know whether it's the pressure of playing at Ewood Park with the Benke situation. Ishmael, I just don't know what it is. But away from home, they seem to do bloody well, don't they? So obviously with Sheffield United winning today, that still puts them 6 points clear of the drop zone. So I don't know it depends what Blackburn's ambitions are this season. I don't know.
I have a theory about the home to away contrast. This might be a bit weird, but I think Blackburn have consistently had, I think, one of the lowest percentage of seats filled in the home ground.
Yeah, they have.
And if you think about Ewood Park, at away end, it's humongous, isn't it? And if you've got a big following there, they'll fill it out, and that can be almost noisier than the home fans. So for a Blackburn player's perspective, you might look at it and it might just be a weird psychological thing where you've got the away fans sort of on your back in a home game when it should really be the home fans sort of geeing you up and being behind you. So yeah, I just thought that might be a reason for Blackburn.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably right with that one, especially that ground, especially because with the way stands got the two stands, so technically they do fill up quite well when it's away team coming. But it's like I see, you don't see much like when you see the dugout in the Blackburn's stands. It's kind of very quiet sometimes. It's very empty in most of the parts. So
I think it comes down to apathy from Blackburn fans, though, doesn't it? When they've had years of wanting the Venkies out and it just hasn't happened. I mean, it's been well over a decade now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe even closer to a decade and a half at this point where they've wanted the Venkies out and it just hasn't happened. So, yeah, it's like I said, like Andy said, it's a very strange home and away ratio, but that might have something to do with it. I don't think that's weird at all. But, yeah, I do get the impression, I think, because like we keep trying to predict this relegation battle. And I think Blackburn will probably have enough to be all right. Just probably won't do much better than all right either, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But for Preston, are Preston still in the top six?
Yeah, still in the top six, Preston. So yeah.
So I mean, obviously, it was a chance. But actually, I want to quickly ask you what you guys think. Did either of you see Tim Sherwood's comments?
No, I didn't.
Right. Basically, he said something along the lines of, and to a great extent, I think he has got a point. But obviously, I don't think Preston fans will want to hear this. Basically, he said Preston are in a very big false position based on their underlying data, based on the fact that they seem to be clinical with not creating many chances or as many as many other teams in this league, but are very clinical with the chances they are creating, and they would expect a drop off at some point. But obviously, Preston's players have done really well to be where they are, basically.
I haven't had a look at North End, underlying data, but I'm not going to sit here and say Tim Sherwood's wrong or anything. I don't know. I think Preston, if you look throughout the spine of that squad, obviously they had a massive overhaul in the summer. We know that, and they brought a lot of players in, and I think it was a nice mix of players they brought in as well. It was experience, it was youth. Terry Small, for example, Algarofia. I think they've got a championship sort of proven squad already of new players, or made up of new players. And those players will be well versed in the tight margins. You know, we all say it all the time. Like every championship pundit will say it. You know, gamified margins. A good team wins it. A good team doesn't. You know, we say things like, "Our good team will get something even if they're not playing well." So, if a team is doing that and is getting on the right side of fine margins, like Sheffield United did last season, and they'll be a benchmark. They got 92 points. Well, we can't really sort of sit here and criticise Preston, who've got a weaker budget than most in the most of the division.
Oh yeah,
They were going into the season, by myself included, as one of the favourites for relegation.
Same here.
And just generally sort of not fancied. So yeah, if that's their strength and fine margins, they're going to be competitive in games, and they're not losing a lot. I don't think there's been a battering in any of the Preston games so far. They've not been battered yet. It's not been a big margin of victory for anyone. So look, it's working for Preston. They're in the top 6, and 16 games in, they're there for a reason. They're not just kind of been lucky all the time. I think fine margins works. If it works for you, go for it.
Can't add much more than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't ask for much more than that. Ooh, let's look at the bunch of some of the Saturday games. Where do you want to go first, guys? And I have to talk about. Let's start off Philip Clement's first game for Norwich City, actually. It was a bit of a disappointing defeat after he's only been in the job for 4 days after replacing Liam Manning after the loss 4-1 yesterday to Birmingham City, and goals from...
A 4-1 defeat is disappointing. I love that.
Especially when you have a short time, and 2 goals from Jay Stansfield, and also 2 goals for Marvin Dukish, who's not scored for Birmingham City. He made his summer move from Werder Bremen as well. Kitzer Garden did get the goal for Norwich City in the 33rd minute, but a really thumping win, Michael, for Birmingham, and especially on their 150th anniversary, and also this week they revealed their plans for the new 60,000 seater stadium as well. It's been a really good week for them, after the international break.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think it's one to get. Birmingham for the ambitions we were expecting of them to be near the top 6. Obviously, it's good for them because it puts them 1 point away from 6th place at the moment. So, Birmingham's kind of been a bit stop-startish for me so far this season. But I think you're never going to grumble at a 4-1 win, are you? And if you are, then you must be one miserable sod with your life. But either way, it's really good. Obviously, what helped them was going 1-0 up after 3 minutes from Duksic.
Yeah, Duksic, yeah.
Yeah, good. My pronunciation's just shit. But anyway, Duksic, and obviously Stansfield as well, getting a brace. And what's good for Stansfield as well in particular is, both of them were open play goals, because he's had this reputation of being good from penalties, but doesn't do much else. I've never bought into that narrative. I think that's a load of nonsense.
Yeah.
But very good from his point of view. And I think, I said it before, St Andrews should be one of the hardest places for visiting Championship teams to go this season. So, yeah, I'm not surprised Birmingham won. And yeah, obviously it comes on 150 year anniversary, and obviously the plans for a new 62,000, I think it is.
Yeah, with those big chimneys as well.
Yeah, so obviously Tom Brady's really trying to take Birmingham up to the next level. So yeah, Norwich. Well, I bet Annie can probably stop wanting them to lose every week with Liam Manning. So that's a start.
False accusations. I never wanted them to lose ever.
Bullshit. We've got the evidence on our previous.
Pilkington meme. Bullshit.
I've kept an eye on their results. I'll keep a less eye on their results now, but
Yeah. Okay, just go. Oh, Liam Manning got beat. Sweet. Liam Manning got beat. Standard. Liam Manning got beat. Absolutely.
We've got the evidence on our group chat, mate. So we all know. You can't hide it.
Is he trying to be the new shithouse when it comes to like Liam Manning?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, Liam Manning lost again. What a shame that is. But I can understand why. And my dog is picking now to pick up a squeaky toy. Hang on a minute.
Is that your dog, Luna? Yeah.
Luna, yeah. She always has to pick when I'm doing the blue stream. She hasn't had a squeaky toy all day, and she picks when I'm going live to want one. You little cheeky sod. But anyway, look, back on. Yeah, this podcast is going to be really delusional and delirious at this point. But speaking of delusional and speaking of delirious, sorry, I should say, I bet Norwich fans are probably going to go a bit delirious at this point. I want to quickly shout out the Talk Norwich City podcast. I don't know if either of you watched it, but Ben Napper went on their YouTube channel.
I saw some pictures of him on there.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, Jack Reeve and Chris Reeve were they were very blunt with as much as you could be with Ben Napper. They ended up asking some pretty harsh questions, which I think is fair enough, considering that they are second bottom of the championship and are obviously 5 points adrift of safety, which is for the squad. Which I know that obviously people can argue about their squad, but like. That's not acceptable for Norwich in the Championship. It just isn't. So, for me, I think harsh questions are fair. I think with Norwich now, with Liam Manning gone, more attention turns to Ben Napper. I'm personally less convinced that the appointment of Philip Clement is as good, but maybe I'm blinded by his spell at Rangers.
Well, listen, from a Scottish point of view, when I beat up here, it wasn't really that good enough. There was a lot of criticism.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, very hard criticism, especially of the plays, of his tactics was so bland completely.
Yeah. So I think, but on the flip side, there isn't the pressure at Norwich comparative to what there is at Rangers. Luna, you are not getting the squeaky toys, you little shit.
Michael, I'd actually argue that, considering where Norwich are at the minute, there's a bit of pressure to get him out of there. No.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean, but no, there is pressure at Norwich. But what I mean is, with Rangers, and Carl will back this up here. With Rangers, there is pressure literally to win every single game and play really, really well in what's essentially a two. Luna, seriously, right? Okay, then. You're making me delirious, dog. But no, you are right. There is definitely pressure at Norwich, and I think there's definitely, not to underplay the pressure that there is at Norwich. I just think, in comparison to Rangers, with Celtic and Rangers, there was a much more pressure on them than there would be at most English clubs, apart from maybe your likes of your Liverpools or your Man Uniteds or your Arsenals against clubs like that. But I do take your point. There is definitely pressure to get them well clear, to get them safe. And let's make this clear as well. Even if Norwich do stay up, that's still a very poor season for them, considering that their ambition was, and Ben Napper and Zoe Webber in particular, I think we're very keen on saying this, that the ambition was top 6 at the start of the season. So
I think Zoe Webber said last season the ambition was top 6, or the target was top 6.
But not according to the NSF Tour Up, apparently not.
Yeah, apparently not.
So when you've already got that division there, when one of your key members of staff is saying that the ambition is top 6, and your head coach is saying, "Oh no, that's not my remit," well, either there's miscommunication there, or things aren't all rosy behind the scenes. So miscommunication at best, and rotten behind the scenes at worst. But look, Philip Clement obviously is going to have a hell of a job on his hands here. So we're going to, but I think. I think I'm right in saying that I think Norwich's next 2 games, I believe they're at Carrow Road twice. Let's have a look. Oxford at home on Tuesday. That's massive. QPR at home, big game. Then you've got Watford away. So after Oxford and QPR, you've got trips to Watford and Sheffield United. Norwich, Southampton, okay, maybe they won't get anything there. You never know. But it's going to be, I'm going to be keeping a keen eye to see what happens with Norwich, because I'll be interested to see what happens with Norwich, because there's a real dangerous possibility that they go down and they're not careful. And the only reason they're not bottom is because of what's happened with Sheffield Wednesday. So, and I think even if Sheffield Wednesday hadn't had the points deduction, would they still be bottom? I'm trying to think, hang on.
No,
hang on. No, they would. I think it's a -12, so they'd be 1 point behind Norwich if it weren't for the points deduction.
Yeah.
If my maths is correct. So, Norwich need to be, and I think Norwich's players need to be very careful here that they don't sleepwalk into League One.
No.
Let's put this bluntly. They've got 9 points after 16 games. That's like,
oh, it's not good enough.
It's abject. It's appalling levels of relegation form. That's maybe what you'd expect from Norwich in the Premier League, not in the Championship. They've been. Oh, it's been awful.
If I make it sound even worse, you know when their last win was?
September.
End of August.
Christ.
2-0 win away at 10-man Blackburn.
Shit, yeah. Well,
they've won 2 of their first 4, and they haven't won a single game ever since. Norwich City have not won a game for 3 months in the Championship. Says everything. That says everything you need to know. That is good luck to Clement, because you're going to have a hell of a job on your hands.
He's going to have a hell of a job completely, because when he got sacked by Rangers, I think at the time he was only, he was in like 30, he was 18 points behind Celtic after he got the sack. Before he got the sack, they were down to 13 points. That just shows you, because he couldn't beat Celtic. The only time he beat Celtic was in the Scottish League Cup in his first season. That's all he did. Yeah.
Well, wait and see. The Norwich job is different to Rangers. Sorry, Annie was going to say something.
I was going to say, you mentioned Clement's got a big job on his hands, and one of the big conundrums he's got is the injuries. That's probably the biggest one. He needs to get players back. The left-hand side has been decimated. Can name the players, but that'd be boring for everyone. I think another conundrum is the centre backs, and a certain Shane Duffy, who's still playing for Norwich. Exactly. Don't know how he's still playing in Championship level. I'll be pretty honest. He doesn't strike confidence into Norwich fans, and I think the only people he strikes confidence into is the opposition attackers. So if you see Jay Stansfield's goal, it's
Stansfield's second one. Yeah.
The one actually the finish was really nice.
It was. It would work and bounce. Yeah.
Shane Donny was like sort of walking back, wasn't he? As Stansfield was sort of sprinting towards the goal. It's pathetic.
He gets beat for pace on the halfway line. Okay, fine. You push on the halfway line. You get caught on the transition. No, fine. Run back. Show some sort of intent to get the ball. Just jogging back. It's just so appallingly bad from an experienced pro who, yeah, it's not cutting it. And he just probably epitomises what's going wrong at Norwich in a minute.
Especially with the fans as well, because I think because they were going to move some of the home fans in, because of redevelopment, and I'm like, you really not thought that through, did it? Yeah, and it's been abandoned now because of that.
It's been postponed.
Well, postponed for now, but I say abandoned for now because I don't think it is ever gonna. I don't think the fans will ever move from the behind the goal where they sit. They ain't gonna.
But that's another problem in and of itself, though. Like if they're saying, "Oh, by the way, you're going to get moved soon." Oh, we didn't tell you. Oh, sauce. Oh, well, deal with it, lol. You know, that's pretty much what it's like. See, there you go. The fans are blacking out like Annie's connection's just done there. Oh, video's just done there. Oh, there we go.
He's not bad.
I was just checking my phone.
And Annie was blacking, and Annie's screen was blacking out there, just like feels like Norwich fans are probably doing on their club at the moment, and justifiably so, by the way. And by the way, just to put it clear, they've lost 8 of their last 9 in the Championship. The only game they didn't lose was away at Sheffield Wednesday. So, yeah. So, yeah. Don't get us wrong. There is still time for Clermont to sort this out. What was it? We've got 30 games left in the Championship, but you need to start getting results soon, son, because otherwise Norwich City are probably going to be playing Northampton Town or Cambridge United next season. No, not Cambridge United. They're in League 2. See, there you go. Northampton Town, Peterborough United, whoever else in League 1. So,
and Walsall. If they do get promoted.
Yeah. If anyone wants to watch on the Talk Norwich City pod, Chris Reed put a brilliant speech about some of their fans were making a joke about, oh, well, it's 2027 and Tony Springett scored a winner against Northampton in the Virtue Trophy final. And Chris Reeves' response was brilliant in that he said, can we please stop glamorising League One? It is absolutely abhorrently shit. And I'm like, yep. As someone who's experienced that shit league for 4 seasons, I completely agree with you. So
League One is great. I don't want to hear it. It's an absolutely fantastic division.
Do you fancy going down and trying it?
Been there, done that, Michael. Been there, done that.
There you go. If it's so great, you can go down and try it.
Don't ask me as well. I couldn't, especially where things are at Leeds. I don't, to get rid of Farker. Yeah, oh, God.
What do you think Farker will take you down to League One?
I fucking hope not, because
no, I don't think. I think I wouldn't blame you. But yeah, look. All joking aside, I think for Norwich, look. Look, a club like Norwich cannot be in League One. They just can't be. And it's the same with Ipswich were there as well. You know, that league, trust me, it might be a novelty at first if you win a few games, but it eats you up very quickly and it is depressing. Maybe because Bristol City might have been competent enough to get out of it in less than 4 seasons, I don't know. But as we thought, hey, this is all right. We'll stay down here for 4 years. Sunderland, please don't. But yeah, don't ever return to that league ever again, please. I don't think I could take it. I think I'd give up following football completely if that happened. But yes, either way, look, for being serious though, for Norwich's point of view, yeah, Andy's right. It is abject, appalling, it is indefensible, it's abysmal what's happened. And like Andy, I think you rightly said, this is the sort of thing Norwich fans would expect this in the Premier League, not the bloody Championship though. No way. No. And obviously, even something like selling Marcelino Nunes. Imagine Norwich having Darwin Nunes.
Yeah, I know.
Or even Sunderland or Leeds having Darwin Nunes, let alone Norwich. But yeah. But either way, like I think with Marcelino Nunes going to Ipswich, I'm actually of the opinion that I think that money could be handy for them in January. But the problem they're going to have is by the time that window comes around, are they going to be really cut adrift, and who's going to want to go there in that situation? And it says a lot how bad it is when Josh Sargent's even stopped scoring. So, he's probably one of the best forwards should be one of the best forwards of this league by a mile. So, yeah, big 30 games coming up for Norwich to save their skin, basically.
I was going to say there's a lot of pressure on January now, a lot of pressure, and
there's a lot of distrust on Ben Napper as well.
Yeah. I was going to say, is there any sort of evidence to say that Ben Napper's actually going to get this right? Because he hasn't got it right so far. I think he spent £70 million since becoming sporting director. I couldn't name you one sort of success so far. No. Maybe Chris Garden, maybe.
But you're scraping the barrel, though, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, all the long-term projects that were signed sort of last summer, it just hasn't worked, has it? It just hasn't worked. And just spent so much on complete duds, Norwich, and that's the evidence so far. It might change. It might change within the next few games. It might change within the next 6 months. It might change when it's too late. But
Might change in League One.
might change in League One. But I don't think Norwich fans will
No, and I don't
be
blame
patient
them.
enough to see League One and then success now.
Can I just say as well, though, I think with disappointment, I think Ben Napper's on last chance saloon now. Clermont has to work out for him. If Ben Napper's going to have any success at Norwich, or even for his own career going forward, regardless of where he's going to be at, disappointment has to work out. Because if disappointment fails, like the last two have done, then, and even some Norwich fans would argue sacking Johannes Hoff-Torp wasn't the right decision, but let's say for a second it was. If you get 3 appointments wrong in a row, you're dead. You're done. Dead, not literally, obviously. In terms of your football sporting director future, that is what's dead. But there you go. So yeah, it's going to be a fascinating 6 months or so at Carroll Road.
Yeah, it will be as well. Will be interesting developments at Norwich for the next in between January and now towards the end of the season. So
But
yeah.
great for Birmingham though. Just to make that clear.
Oh yeah, no, great win for Birmingham, absolutely no doubt as well. And Coventry came down from 2 goals down actually to beat West Brom 3-2. I have to say, hey,
Ant still mysteriously disappeared.
yes, I know, and then we could see his frustrations in a group chat. Yesterday and today. So
And Leicester won as well, by the way.
yeah, I know, but. Give credit to Coventry. They went 2-0 down by 32 minutes, but they go back out by just echoes, and then Sims and Top scored, and Moby. Yeah, listen, Moby deserved the red card as well, actually, and for Jason Moby deserved it, especially for a second bookable offence as well. So, but like I said, the Sky Blues are still matching on despite the bit of there was 2-0 down. They could have collapsed, but they didn't.
Up the Cov is what I'm going to say. No,
As Annie's just said that. So West Brom, go on.
I was gonna say. I thought West Brom. I obviously didn't watch the game because we were on at the same time. But you look at it. You go 2-0 up away at Coventry. You still don't feel like you're safe, do you? Because Coventry have the capability of scoring 4 goals within a half. That's how good they are. That's how good they can be. That's how good they're shown to be this season at points.
They've scored 43 goals this season.
It's absolutely ridiculous how many goals they're scoring at volumes as well. We say defences win titles. Not with Coventry. They're pretty good defensively. They're one of the best teams defensively anyway. But scoring goals is outscoring everyone and sometimes just taking the piss. The character shown here was brilliant. Even with the fact they were aided with Jason Malumbi going and having an absolute brain dead moment. It's so silly from Malumbi, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially when he's on a yellow. What are you doing? What are you doing? The argument could be made that even if it was 11v11, Coventry might have definitely got something from the game. Possibly. There's a long time to go, even when that red card happens. But yeah, if someone in that front line for Coventry is not producing, no problems. Victor Torp will pop up. Josh Eccles will pop up. Ellis Sims off the bench. I think he came off. Did he come off the bench?
Did, yeah.
They've just got quality up there. And Ellis Sims was someone we were talking about as potentially, Frank Lampard. He doesn't fancy him. Didn't use him in the playoffs last season. It felt like, he might be someone who might be moved on. And
Ellis Sims started actually in the game. Actually, yeah, he started. Right. Yeah,
it was down to Haji Wright coming back late from the USA duties, wasn't it?
Yeah, Haji Wright didn't get it. So yeah.
Right. Okay. My apologies. I didn't know that. Well, that's sort of even he might have been forced to stand there a little bit. Lampard then. I'm sure he'd have preferred to start Haji Wright, but look, him and Brandon Thomas Asante, both were sort of flattering, a little bit sort of meh last season, and it looked like Ellis Sims might be moved on, but we've seen the Coventry have got goals everywhere in that team. They've got goals, and they've got so many different ways of creating chances. They've got obviously the passing football, all that beautiful football stuff, which they're very good at. They create loads of chances doing that. Crosses into the box, they can do that. They did that in the playoffs last season. Long throws, Milan van Eyck. They've just got quality everywhere. They've got a good defence. So I think we can stop talking about Coventry and stop, talking about them in a good light because we've said everything.
Well,
anyway.
that's a good...
They're obviously the standout team in this division at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially we do have an interest in someone in the panel actually who's joined us. I see Ant is messaged in, and he's back. He's got his account back. So, yeah.
Yeah, we won. Anyway, sacked a lot of them useless TWATs.
Twats, yeah.
Right, okay then. There he goes.
League is shit. We've been awful. What?
And look
I
where he's
love that comment.
That worked well in the playoffs, didn't it? Ballard! Well, let's just say I think that might have galvanised Coventry quite a bit, I think. Just to touch on with Coventry, this is the problem. When you're up against them, you think, right, good, okay, let's mark Hadji right. Shit, we need someone on Sakamoto. Hang on, Victor Torp. Hang on, Brandon Thomas Asante. Hang on, Ellis Sims. Hang on, Josh Eccles. Hang on, Jack Rittoni. Like, I've said before that when it looks at like non-parachute teams, are you trying to rub your back into his dog? When you're looking at Coventry, the amount of options they've got going forward is absolutely incredible. And like Annie said, I think Stoke are the best team defensively. I think they conceded like 12 goals. But I think Coventry
Middlesbrough?
Sorry?
Middlesbrough, maybe?
Yeah.
I think I saw that Let me double check the table again, but I'm pretty sure. Hang on, let me check the table again. So
Middlesbrough has got the best record, actually, yeah.
No, they don't. Stoke
actually by 2 goals, yeah.
Stoke have conceded 12, Borough have conceded 14. Well, to compare the top two for a second, right? So Borough have conceded 14, one less than Coventry. They've scored 20 goals. Coventry have scored 43. Just slightly better going forward. Mental. Is it safe to assume, guys, do you think, then, that I think Coventry are in a long way to go, but I think Coventry are in a very strong shout for automatics now? Not just for the fact they're 10 points clear of Stoke, but more the fact is they're 40. If you look at the parachute teams, they're 14 points clear of Ipswich. Okay, Ipswich have a game in hand, and they're 14 points clear of Leicester. They are 16 points clear of Southampton, and obviously, 24 points clear of Sheffield United. I think the difference is, like, we know we compared them to, say, Sunderland last season, but the difference is we were up against 3 parachute teams where I think it was very unlikely we were going to stay the course for top 2. Coventry, at the minute, the top 6 has not got one single relegated club in there. Ipswich, of course, will go in there if they beat Blackburn in their game in hand, obviously. But as of right now, it's looking hard to look past Coventry going up automatically, barring something disastrous happening.
I think Coventry might be safe so far.
Yeah,
I think they'll be all right. Yeah. They'll avoid relegation for sure.
Yeah, just get to 50 points in the fine.
Yeah. I think that's what all clubs
made that joke 2 years ago, like 2/3 of the way through the season. Right, guys, we officially can't go down. Yay!
No, I think that we're still waiting on Ipswich to fully click, and we'll talk about them later, I'm sure. Southampton they've won 3 in a row, but new manager might dictate what happens in the future. Leicester, I'm sure Ant will agree, a bit unconvincing. But yeah, I don't think Sheffield United are going to catch Coventry. I think they're the standout for forget top 2. I think they're clear title favourites.
Yeah,
absolutely. They've definitely been the standout, and it's not even been close, has it? Really?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, they've been by far the most convincing team to be in the top 6.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, do you know what? Let's get some of the I'm going to get rid of the only two draws that's happened this weekend, get them out of the way. And we'll start off with Ipswich Town. They drew 0-0 against Wrexham. I think, is this a good point for Wrexham, actually, who their defensive effort played really well, despite Ipswich Town has so many chances, guys.
Very good point for Wrexham.
Can I just say, Wrexham started this game without a few of their sort of key players. So Lewis O'Brien, that's helpful. Phil Parkinson, considering who they're playing in midweek. They didn't start Lewis O'Brien, didn't start Kiefer Moore. So a couple of, maybe that might be one more as well. So
Connor Cody was on the bench as well.
I don't think he's a starter.
No.
It's Kabore didn't start either. So they definitely rested a few players, which is a bit weird considering Ipswich away is probably going to be one of the toughest games you'll have this season. Got a point, didn't have a shot on target, Wrexham, but got a point, so he was actually bothered. It's a good performance. If Ipswich had a lot of the ball, a lot of movement, a lot of nothingness that led to nothingness. I think the frustration with Ipswich fans is it looked like they'd found something that worked in Marcelino Nunez in the number 10 position, and then he reverted McKenna to, I think it was Akron in the 10, which is And look, it's only one player, but it's such a difference in terms of how Ipswich actually operate. Because Connor Chaplin, who was obviously the key player, or one of the key players in that double promotion seasons, was always running on stuff on the edge of the box and scoring goals from the edge of the box and finishing off chances. Palm and Smodics were the two players in that 10 position, similar players, and Nunes, and that didn't work. Akpom and Smodics. Nunes is a completely different style of player, and that sort of worked because Ipswich are going to be playing teams who play differently against Ipswich this season. They're going to sit back a lot more like Wrexham did. They're going to sit back, especially at Portman Road, and just try and fight for what they can. So Ipswich have to be adaptable to that. They haven't really been adaptable yet.
No,
they've not clicked yet, have they? And actually, we say that, but the points record, the points return over the last sort of 11 games hasn't actually been that bad. I think they've got 21 points from the last 11 games, which is just under 2 points per game, which is sort of third place level form. It's not terrible. It's not bad at all. So actually, the points return, whilst not convincing, has not been bad. So maybe it's the quality that Ipswich have this season and the bench that they'll field for 46 games that might get them over the line. But at the moment, they're very unconvincing, aren't they?
I think at the minute you've got to look at Ipswich and say that if they keep themselves in the hunt for second place, because I still at this point would back Ipswich to get second personally. I think part of it is down to that, and maybe I didn't think about this too much, but the last time Ipswich were in the Championship, I think teams probably had a go at them a bit more because they would have viewed Ipswich as a team that's just come up from League One. We can get at these, we can cause problems against them and so on. Whereas now teams look at them as the year one parachute team, just come down from the Premier League. Let's frustrate the hell out of them and then hope that we can contain them. So I think that might be
Michael, sorry, can I just buy in? Do you remember what the narrative was during that Championship season? Oh, it's lucky old Ipswich. Oh, they're getting late winners. Oh, they're scoring deflected goals.
Yeah, I remember that quite well. Yeah.
They're not that good. We can get at them. We could get something at home against them. Yeah, no, 96 points. No. So yeah, it's fair. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you completely. Yeah.
Yeah, I think after so long, you can't say it's luck, can you? And I felt guilty of that myself, but you've just got to look at. I mean, I was watching I think a while back, I was watching the Championship season review of that season, and when I look at it, I was thinking, Jesus, feels like every time I look at Ipswich, it's like a goal in the 93rd minute. So no, it's not luck. It's definitely based on a good quality. That's not a bad quality. Scoring goals late on to win points is not a bad trait. So I think we've got to give them respect where it's due there. I do think it will click at some point for Ipswich, even if they don't play quite as well as last time because teams sitting back against them doesn't allow it as much. I think if Ipswich go 1-0 up in games, then I think that's when you'll see when teams have to come at them a bit more, that it'll suit Ipswich quite a lot. And bearing in mind, you've got Nunes and Makatia, who missed a great chance at the back post, by the way, against Wrexham.
I know.
And should have scored, really. At the very least, hit the target, but should have scored, really. And Jack Clark coming on as well. This is what I mean. So I think as the season goes on, I think Ipswich will improve and get better. So I think right now, what you've got to do is, for Ipswich, if you're Ipswich, keep yourself with second in your sights there. And a key thing on Tuesday, by the way, Middlesbrough and Coventry play each other. So say if Coventry, and I don't think Coventry will win at Borough. I think a point would be very solid for Coventry. But say for a second Coventry gets something at Middlesbrough and Ipswich win their game, then you never know. I think Ipswich will still try and Ipswich will go to Hull on Tuesday, which Hull have started well, not easy in and of itself. They go to Oxford next Friday night, so they'll look to sort of continue, look to build on the point. Although a point wasn't what they wanted yesterday, they wanted 3. You can build on that in the next week to come. But I'm not too worried about Ipswich in terms of getting themselves at bare minimum in the top 6. And bearing in mind as well, they've not done. They're just ticking along nicely enough. And this league is Ant would call it shit, but I would say it's very tight and much of a muchness at the top. So I think Ipswich. Seconds for me is Ipswich is to take if they really grasp for it. But look, and if they win the game in hand, they're well within it. But we have to say, based on what Andy said for Wrexham, by the way, though, fantastic point for Wrexham, I think.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic point for Wrexham this weekend as well. Let's go to the other game at the Kassam Stadium with Oxford and Middlesbrough. They drew 1-1. Luke Harris getting his first goal for the club since he joined on loan from Fulham, and then Morgan Whittaker, second half strike, grabbed a point for managers Middlesbrough, who should be in the next couple of days appointing Kim Hilbert from Hammarby, and he's willing to take over due to a working permit. And Middlesbrough needed its point, guys, but like I said, they had good chances, Middlesbrough. But was this a fair point for them, especially after what's happened with Robert Edwards leaving, and it's just been, to try to get the right man in. Kim Elberg was going to look like he was going to go to Swansea, but Middlesbrough now definitely have pipped them completely now.
I think with Borough, I think it's So go on. All I'll quickly say is I'll quickly have my say on Rob Edwards, and then we can go about the game. I think. Let's just say I think Rob Edwards, I understand why he's gone to Wolves because of the whole family, local thing and whatever else it is, but I think it's a big gamble at best to go to Wolves. And whether Borough go up, I don't know, but it's looking more and more likely by the week, unless something miraculous happens, that Wolves are going to be in this division next season. So now if Wolves have appointed Rob Edwards with that in mind, then I can see the logic in it, but let's just say I think it's a big gamble. And I can see why Borough fans would feel quite aggrieved when he was the one harping on about sticking together and being one as a family, so to speak. But yeah, I think we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I think Borough have a right to be aggrieved. But sorry, Andy, I'll quickly say on Morgan Wigger, that was his third goal, I think, since moving to Borough. So, but yeah, blame the ITV commentary if that's wrong. But
no, it is a third goal of the season. Yeah, right.
Anyway, sorry, Andy, go on.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good point for Borough. Oxford will be kind of kicking themselves. They haven't won the game considering they're 1-0 up at home against the managerless Borough. I think 4 points from Adi Viviesh's opening 2 games, not the worst result. And I think Borough are very lucky to have Adi Viviesh in sort of interim charge, because he's not sort of he's not a Rob Edwards sort of. He's not a Rob Edwards man, where he's not just going to do the same things over and over again. It's just repetition. It's similar, but there's tweaks and he's tactically astute as well at Viviesh. But yeah, Kim Hellberg looks like he'll be coming in with the work permit, hopefully for Borough, being sorted soon. From what obviously I've never watched a single minute of Kim Hellberg's football. I've not watched any.
No, we don't get
a
lot of Swedish games, so yeah.
But from what I'm seeing and what I'm reading from Hammarby fans or pundits or whatever, people are more knowledgeable than me. It is what they're describing is very different to what Rob Edwards tried to instill at Borough. And we have to remember, it trended a little bit downwards before he left to go to Wolves. It worked. It worked for Borough under Edwards. They were defensively solid. They've got quite stoic centre backs, and they've got some experience in Matt Targett, Luke Ayling, Alfie Jones, etc., etc. They've got Hayden Hackney, who's just a cheat code at this level. They've got the base of a good squad, and they found something that worked. And under Carrick last season, with a very similar squad, it sort of got stale and it sort of stopped working. If Hellberg can come in and instead of completely ripping everything up and starting again, just build on what's already been left behind, because there'll be a lot of animosity towards Rob Edwards, and you may say rightly so for whatever reason, but ultimately he's left a pretty decent thing. On the other hand, this is also not a finish. This is not also, we're not 5 games from the end of the season where Middlesbrough in second place and you just need to find a way to get into second by hook or by crook. We're also very early into the season. There's a realistic chance Borough could drop out of the playoffs, full stop. They're not that far off. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how that appointment works. But on the game, good point for Borough. Oxford, I think, if I was an Oxford fan, would be slightly disappointed they haven't fully capitalised and going 1-0 up.
Just to add as well, for Borough, Coventry didn't win at Oxford. Leicester didn't win it. Okay, Leicester were down to 10 men, but they didn't win at Oxford.
No.
So I think Oxford away is probably a harder game than what probably people might make out to be.
But Michael, Oxford have been better away from home than they have been at home.
Yeah.
They've got more wins away from home than they have at the Kassam.
Well, then there you go. Maybe just draw their home games, win their away games. Who knows?
And also, sorry, just finally, before I'll let you finish, I promise. Oxford last 2 games have taken the lead and they've only got 1 point. So, and one of them was away at West Brom, which is
I was going to say they did lose that, didn't they?
It's a bit of a come on.
Well, let's just say they face East Anglia this coming week, and I think and we said how big that game on Tuesday was for Norwich. It's big for Oxford as well. From Oxford's point of view, you've got their whole away form's been better than their home form, and Norwich's home form has been turgid and haven't got a single point at Carrow Road yet. if you're Oxford, you've got to go there, and if you want to stay up, you cannot lose that game at the very least. Ideally, you want to go there and win, don't you? But at the very least, go there and pick up something and bring it back down, up, whatever, my geography's crap. Bring it back towards the Kassam. So, yeah, it's going to be a pretty big week for Oxford based on that. But yeah, point against Borough, not the worst result for either team, I'd say personally.
No, absolutely not as well. I agree with that as well. We've got 7 games left to go, guys. Let's hopefully get them down within the next 10, 15 minutes, down to at least 2. So, yeah, give it a go.
Lightning round here. Okay.
Yeah, lightning round, yeah. Do you know what? I want to start off at Portsmouth, actually. What good goals from Zach Swanson. 2 brilliant goals from Zach Swanson. And also, who scored the
Joe Williams.
Yeah. Yeah,
Jordan Williams, my mistake.
Yeah,
sorry.
Jordan Williams in a 3-1 win against Millwall. That was a really good win for Port Pompey. They get the first win since early October. That was a huge win against a very playoff contenders Millwall this past weekend.
Yeah, Millwall, I think, without a win in 4, possibly. Yeah,
I'll double check that.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? I mean, none of the playoff chasing pack or teams in the playoffs at the moment are particularly being very consistent.
You're
correct, by the way. Yeah, just going to say you're correct. No winning 4.
So it's a bit weird. Pompey, they needed that win. And again, no coincidence. They've got Segacic back. That's the only one off the top of my head I can remember. They've got a few players back, Pompey, and they go and win a game at Fratton Park. There's no real shock. They're hard to beat. They're good. They've got some good attacking players. It's a good win, much needed win for Pompey.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, huge win for Portsmouth. The first win since early October. The first, as well. Let's go to Loftus Road, my favourite Loftus Road, and QPR getting their first win after a 4-match winless run, with a 3-2 over Hull City. Like I said, that was another huge game, Michael, for QPR as well, to get that win as well. And this was a up and down game between Hull, QPR and Hull.
I think something I've noticed every time I look at Hull, Joe Gelhardt seems to be scoring, which I'm
I know.
keeping an eye on as Leeds. And I swear,
I hate to say this, we do have a recall clause on that loan contract. So there's a few
but surely, Carl, you just let him be. Because
I think a lot of that depends. Sorry, if Leeds go down or not. I think if Leeds stay up.
No, I meant for the season. But yes, yes.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you meant in general.
That's what I think some of us have been debating about that, Annie. If should we just leave him be at Hull or bring him back in January? And there's been a lot of questions about that because of the issues we have up front. We were stagnate up front today against Villa, and someone like him, yes, he might not have the quality, but he can be a bit of a difference maker if it's feeding into the right channel. But it's a hard one to say, but I think Gerrard has been doing so well at Hull, and I'm like, should we bring him back? Well, because we got Calvert-Lewin, who's not, it's just a thing players up front.
Have you got up front Calvert-Lewin and the Metcha?
Yeah, and even Joe Peru came on today. He's not even been on much of the season. He's been, so there's been questions about if Gerrard does come back, but I just don't think it will happen.
I don't think it will either, and I agree with Annie. I don't think he should be recalled. I think leave him be for where he is at the moment.
Yeah,
and obviously at Hull he's settled. Remember, it's not his first spell at Hull, is it? He was there
his second spell.
He was there last season as well. He's got 8 goals already. Jesus, wow! I didn't realise it was that many. But yeah, every time I look at Hull results, as I said earlier, Joe Gelhardt seems to score. And although it doesn't seem to be this, probably isn't the case. Every single time I look at a QPR game where there's been a few goals, Jimmy Dunn is nearly always on the score sheet, and he's a centre back. And whatever enhancing drugs he's been taking to be really great going forward, I have no idea, but you can't keep it up, mate. From Leeds' point of view, quickly on Gelhardt, I think if you guys stay up, I think you sell him. And I think that'd be the right thing to do.
That's the question. If we still have Farker, but that's
Farker's a different story.
Because I was actually screaming the other day, and I said to Doug, I said there was a rumor on Friday. There was a press conference in Uruguay because Marcelo Bielsa looked like his future was on the after even though Uruguay did qualify for the World Cup, but he was going to resign. Yeah. And there was rumors that circulated around that he would come back to Leeds if Farker goes, but that's now dead in the water now because Bielsa is stayed on till the end of the World Cup. that you know what Bielsa's like. He will do something crazy. That's why we call it El
Yeah,
Loco.
Bielsa's a bit nuts, isn't he?
So
But yeah, do you know what? To be fair, well, not to make it too much about the Premier League, obviously, but I think with Leeds, that was one of the reasons I said I thought you guys would go down. I think you definitely go down if you stick with Farker all season. I think it depends ultimately what your board wants. Do you view it as we accept we're probably going to go, which I know Leeds fans rightly wouldn't want to hear this, but would you accept it and say, okay, we think we're going to go down, so we'll stick with Farker to bring us back up? But the problem is, if the bottom three currently go down, you've got Leeds, Burnley, and Wolves. Then you've also got, say, at least one or two of the parachute teams still in the Championship next season, and that'll make next season a lot more interesting in terms of parachute teams, the amount of them in there. But,
the less about it, the better for me. Without
yeah,
that.
well, I'll move it back to Hull. But either way, the point I'm getting at is, if you kept him, if you went down, you keep him in the squad for me because I think
I would. Yeah,
be a very handy option in the Championship. But Gelhardt obviously doing great for Hull. Obviously for Hull, they'd be disappointed to go ahead twice and come away with nothing. But you've got to say, I mean, obviously QPR had a 4-match winless run before this. So obviously it was important for Julian Stefan to get back on track and get a win here. Obviously for so obviously
Jakirovic, yeah.
Can people just have fucking easy names? But yeah, but let's just say, look, for Hull, obviously, of course, it's disappointing to be ahead twice and not win. For QPR, it's equally as important to have gone behind twice. And that's a test of character as well. When you've been on the back of a 4-game winless run, you've gone behind not once but twice in the game, and you've come back to get a victory. And obviously, you scored twice within 12 minutes. So very, very important for QPR to get back on track.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Really good win as well for QPR. Let's go to Pride Park, and what a comeback for Watford. They were 2-0 down, pretty much for most of the game until the 60th minute, the 61st minute, and Kerrigan scored a goal, and Kayambe scored 2 goals, one from the penalty, and one in the 80th minute to win 3-2. A good win for Harry Garcia, especially it ended Derby's 5-match winning streak to winning run ended, and also they get their first away victory of the season. Watford.
Yeah, I mean, typical Championship. This Derby, who have won 5 in a row, go 2-0 up against the Watford side who haven't won away from home all season, and then what happens?
Peak Championship happens. That's what.
It's absolutely mental, isn't it? It's a great finish from Kurumgard. First of all, and I also want to mention, I think Carlton Morris went off injured in the first half for Derby, which is not good news if you're a Derby fan. He's been absolutely superb. So hopefully that's not serious from a Derby perspective. But yeah, Kayembe, who's been I think a Marmite figure to say the least at Watford. Put it that way. He's popped up with 2 very, very vital moments.
Yeah.
For having Grazia, and they're not in a bad position at the moment, and actually their form has been pretty good. Even before they sacked Petzolano, you'd remember they got 7 points, didn't they?
Yeah.
So that obviously counts. That isn't just null and void. That counts towards their good run. And they've been on a pretty decent run, Watford. So yeah, they're moving nicely. And we've always said, Watford have got a pretty decent looking Championship squad. It's about whether a manager gets time or is capable of sort of moulding that and putting that all together and finding a way to...
Until you realise you're talking about Watford.
Yeah. But Javi Grazia is a good manager. He's adaptable, and he's getting the best. He's not getting the best. He's getting closer, I think, to a pretty good solution for that Watford team. And I think that Watford team is pretty good. But for Derby, freakish, isn't it? They go 2-0 up and they do typical Derby things, John Eustace things this season. Be good off a set play. They score the second goal from a set play. The first goal, I'm trying to remember it. Who scored the first goal?
First goal was scored by
Dion Sanderson.
Dion Sanderson. Thank you.
Oh yeah, that was a cracking goal, wasn't it?
It
cracking
was,
finish. Yeah, wonderful finish. So yeah, a couple of centre backs scoring for Derby, just typical John Eustace this season, and then yeah, just a weird on John Eustace like collapse. So yeah, I think we could just put that down to peak Championship. And for Derby, they go to Swansea, who look hot mess. So I think they'll want to target that as a nice victory to go into this block of fixtures coming up. But yeah, weird one for Derby, who at 2-0, I think the whole the whole of the universe would have bet on them going 6 in a row. But this is just a championship, ladies and gentlemen.
It is the championship. Anything's unpredictable in the championship.
Is it arguably the most bonkers league in the world, this division?
Yeah, so it is. And speaking of bonkers, let's go to the Valley and what.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I have to say, Charlton. So Charlton lost to Southampton 5-0 when all the 5 goals came in the first 45 minutes. It was 3-0 by the 22nd minute. And no, actually, no.
It was 4-0 by the
22nd minute.
There was 4 goals within 10 minutes, and then it was 5-1 at half time, and then the second half was dull as dishwater. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
So,
I gotta say, because I know Southampton are still managerless at the moment. We know at the moment they're still manager, but there's been talk about the interim head coach Tondo Eckert, who has been his rumours that he could get the job on a permanent basis. They're kind of getting running for a better form now, Southampton, after the sack Will Still.
yeah, I mean, what can you say about that one? I mean, obviously, what was it? So a 2-0 home defeat to Preston, was that Will Still's last game?
Yeah.
So then obviously the 1-2-1 away at QPR, beat Sheffield Wednesday 3-1. Okay, Sheffield Wednesday are where they are, but you still have to win the game. And then they're going to score 5 goals in the first half away at Charlton, 4-0 up after 20 minutes. This is why, as long as Sunderland obviously are in the Premier League, this is why I love the Championship. It is just absolutely ridiculous. And what I think Nathan Jones made a very good point after the game, where he said something to the effect of that it would take them 5 games to concede 5 goals. And they've ended up conceding 5 in the first half alone here. But I've kind of said all along that the issue with Southampton is if you want to believe about underlying data and underlying numbers, etc., that generally their numbers are pretty good or have been pretty good. They've just not been taking their chances. Well, clearly the Southampton squad took that criticism personally and have started to finish a lot more chances now because, and obviously this is weird because for a Nathan Jones side, this is very un-Charlton-like when he's there in particular. So, yeah, I was astonished when I heard how, because I remember I was keeping an eye on some of the early games on Saturday, and I remember going, 0-0, okay, hard game. And then all of a sudden I was watching Coventry West Brom, and then I suddenly heard, and Southampton are 4-0 up. Wait, what, 4-0? I didn't even realise it was 1-2 or 3-0 yet. And I look, I'm going, oh my God, it is actually 4-0. So, yeah. I guess for Charlton, they'll probably want to put that down to a freak 10 minutes where everything Southampton had touched went in pretty much. Obviously, Finn Azaz gets himself a brace, and it's good for him because obviously he had a big money move from Borough in the summer, and he's under more pressure to deliver. But with Southampton, like I keep saying, and obviously it's not as easy as just looking at team squads and everything else. But I mentioned before, when you look at Southampton's squad, you've got Tom Fellows in there, you've got Ryan Manning, you've got Jack Stevens, Harwood Bellis, Banzunu, Finn Azaz, Adam Armstrong, just to name a fair few of them, starting for them. So I think, and then obviously you've got, your likes of your Joe Aribo, Flynn Downs, Ryan Fraser coming off the bench as well. That's insane. And like I said before, this is where you have to have where the year one parachute teams just have this quality. So I think for Southampton, they've underperformed they've underperformed considerably this season. So I think for them, they're obviously for 3 wins in a row, they want to start rising up the league. And the way to look at it is, bizarrely now, after how poorly they started, they're 4 points off the playoffs. Yeah. And just to reiterate here, by the way, just to make a comparison, between Stoke in 3rd and West Brom in 17th, 6 points is the difference, which is crackers. It's just absolutely crackers. So, yeah, I mean, I think for Charlton, I think for Charlton, you put that down to a freak first half in the game, freak open in 20 minutes or so. So I think Charlton, Nathan Jones, they've got the character to bounce back, I think, with Nathan Jones at the helm. And for Southampton, all eyes on their board to see who they appoint, but their interim bosses not doing too badly indeed.
Yeah. I reckon they might just give it to Tondo Eckert, who is their interim at the moment. Yeah, because I think he was a club appointment. Oh, my phone goes. I think he was a club appointment, and he has good pedigree. I think he worked at Barnsley when they got into the Championship playoffs. So my phone stopped going. He's got a good pedigree, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. My phone doesn't.
Doesn't. I bet you probably love your phone right now as much as Ant loves Leicester City.
Yeah.
And there you go, Carl. That was a not intentional segue for you.
Thank you. That has actually led. I was about to go to Leicester. That was my next point. So yeah, Leicester beat Stoke 2-1. good goals from Stefan Madidi and Patson Daka, to get the 3 points. But I know Ant has not been a happy person, but they still did try to come back, after Bae Young Ho scored 3 minutes after the second half. But it was needed to win for Leicester. But like Ant said,
It doesn't appease everything
no,
that's going on at Leicester, does it? But
no,
to be fair, first of all, I've got to give credit. Mavadidi's goal, absolutely fantastic strike. And I think it's one where he's getting pressed as well a little bit as he's actually taking the shot on goal. So it's one where he just rockets it and it goes in off the post from the left side of the 6-yard box. It's a great finish. Patson Daka, who, if for those who've watched me do content with Ant before on his channel, because season before last, will know he did not rate Patson Daka very highly. So it was actually a pretty composed finish to put Leicester 2-0 up. And it says a lot, actually, of how bad things have been at Leicester. Coventry fans were probably happy with Leicester winning. Because it means Stoke are 10 points behind them. That's just how... But yeah, I bet as well as Coventry have done, is it safe to say that if you said to me at the start of the season, oh, by the way, after 16 games, Coventry will be 13 points ahead of Leicester. And I mean without Leicester having a points deduction.
Yeah, I'd have thought Leicester would have had a points deduction.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. So
there's supposed to be an announcement on that at some point out there, because we did put that in the article in our group chat about there could be
6 points that's being talked about.
Yeah, 6 points is what is being talked about completely. Yeah.
At some point, that's got to be resolved. It can't have that hanging over the club.
It's been 6 months, hasn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much since the summer. So, we're done. But yeah, sorry. I just wanted to mention how great a goal that was from Avadidi, and obviously good from Patson Daka and then Bae Young Ho. I mean, I think Stoke are. Annie, I want to know what do you think about Stoke? Do you reckon Stoke will stay the course of where they are? Or do you think they'll slide down the league a little bit? Like, not enough to the point where they're not in playoff contention, but I mean, like, will they finish in third, basically?
I watched them, obviously, in the flesh, and I thought they were absolutely unbelievable. Like, brilliant. The patterns of play was there. They pass the ball around really well. They have really good control. They've got really good attacking players. I don't know if that's just their best performance of the season by tenfold or something, but I thought they looked like a team who was more than capable of finishing in the playoffs. So yeah, I think they've got Mark Robbins, who's just Mark Robbins. He'll not let them get. He'll not let this get to them. He'll not let back-to-back defeats against tough opposition. Coventry and Leicester, not easy.
And he signed a new contract as well, didn't he? A new contract as well.
Yeah. So yeah, he's definitely committed to that particular project. So yeah, I wouldn't be concerned about Stoke. I think still they've got some unbelievable attacking quality, a really steady team, some really good Championship players who. And look, we kept saying whenever Stoke sort of underperformed over the last few seasons we've been doing the show, they've always had good players, and they just needed something that clicked. Mark Robbins is looking like he's that something that's going to make them click. So no, I wouldn't be concerned if I was Stoke at all, because I don't think their performances have been that bad, and actually I thought it would look like they performed pretty well in this game, and they lost a coin flip game against Coventry. If that game ends 0-0 and Ephron Mason-Clark doesn't pull out a bicycle kick or a scissors kick or whatever you call it out of his backside, you're probably looking at that going, okay, yeah, fine, 0-0 against league leaders at home, not bad. Don't lose any ground on them.
Year one parachute team then, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they performed apparently really, really well as well. So no, I wouldn't be concerned if I was a Stoke fan. In fact, I'd be a bit, okay, yeah, we can be competitive against the big boys in this division. We're not just, sort of flat track bullies, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Just beat up all the bottom half fodder in the Championship and just, blow on that to get into the top six. I think Stoke can be competitive. So, no, if anything, if I was a Stoke fan, obviously I'd be a bit disappointed that they haven't managed to get something in this game. I think I predicted them to win it, actually. But, yeah, it's not the end of the world at all.
It's Annie Harris's fault, Stoke fans, just to let you know.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Stoke fans.
Yeah.
Although I think you deserve a bit of karma for beating us 5-1.
I love the thing. To be fair as well, I think after what Stoke fans have endured in this division, I think they deserve at least a spell to be within a shout of getting promoted.
Just some hope.
Yeah, exactly.
Just some hope. Yeah, absolutely. Right, we've got 2 games left to go. Let's start off with with Sunday's game early today. They still City derby. Both the Sheffield clubs were at the bottom of the league as well in the bottom three. But Sheffield United took the rights of today's game of winning 3-0 against Sheffield Wednesday. 2 goals from Tyrese Campbell and Tom Cannon scored in the 91st minute. I have to say, it was. I don't say this game. It felt like Sheffield Wednesday was not much in the game, and Sheffield United was kind of just slowing things down a bit in a way, and they got the 3 points.
Did any of you guys watch this game?
Yeah,
I watched quite a lot of it. I didn't see the whole thing. I did see most of it.
Yeah, I'll go first then. I thought Sheffield United were better, but not entirely brilliant.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the right way to describe it. I thought Sheffield Wednesday, they tried to play sort of football on the deck and they tried to pass it about. They just couldn't. They don't have, and it's not their fault. They've not got the players to do it. And they just looked really uncomfortable doing it. And Sheffield United could smell blood, I think, fairly early on. And once they realised that, second half, I thought they were much better. Blades, I thought they were really good. But yeah, disappointing for Wednesday. I think by the time the next derby comes around, next Hill City derby comes around, I don't think they'd have scored a goal in this fixture for 9 years. 9 years they haven't scored a goal in.
That's a huge worry, yeah.
And even then, to be fair, there's obviously for probably half of those years they've been in different divisions, but either way, it's not.
Well,
good.
Sheffield Wednesday have not won a game for 30 years in this fixture.
We're 3-0, 30.
13.
Oh, I thought you said 30. I was like,
no, if I said 30, yeah. No, 13 years, yeah, 1-3.
It's still not good, is it, really? But sorry, Andy, go on.
I was just going to say, finally, I think this has to be the catalyst now for Sheffield United. I mean, this has to be it. This has to be the sort of moment. It's sort of how like everything came together. They won. The main striker, Tyrese Campbell, scored twice. Patrick Bamford came off the bench, and I thought he looked pretty good.
I can't believe I thought to this day in my life I did not expect Patrick Bamford and Chris Wilder, after what Patrick Bamford said about Chris Wilder in the past, and they were hugging each other after the game. I could not believe my eyes that something like that was ever.
I must admit, it was, as much as I don't particularly like Wilder, as you guys know, but I must admit it was quite funny to see him being a bit self-aware to the Wilder is a wanker chance. So I've got a little bit of respect for Wilder for that, to be fair. That was quite amusing. I mean, it is easy after you've just beaten your rivals 3-0, isn't it? I mean,
yeah.
But I think Andy's right. I think you're right. Sorry, before you say anything, Andy, you're right. I think if this isn't going to be a catalyst for Sheffield United, what's going to be?
Yeah, I was just going to finish my point by saying Tyrese Campbell scored twice. Patrick Bamford came off the bench and played an unbelievable pass to Tom Cannon, and it looked generally very good and very active. And Tom Cannon scored, which once in a blue moon stuff for Blades fans. So, it all came together for Sheffield United. This has to be it. This has to be the point where they turn the season around.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, if it's not going to be, then there's literally like next to no point to it. I think in this game, although I know Sheffield Wednesday didn't have the place to do it, I thought they would have made it more of a fight than this. If I'm honest, being at home with the crowd behind you, with the fact, we know their situation with the points deduction, but
exactly. They should hopefully have an update on the ownership situation, probably by the next couple of weeks, actually.
Which is the main thing, isn't it? That's the more important thing from this season, if you're looking at the general perspective and picture. But if I was still Sheffield United, I thought Sheffield United were actually pretty decent in this game. I thought maybe it's comparative to who they were, the quality of the opposition they were playing. Unfortunately for Sheffield, because I do have a lot of time for them as a club. But I think you've just got to say for Sheffield United, the pressure was on massively for this game, wasn't it? This was one that, if you were going to want to be staying up, and again, and I want to reiterate, similar to Norwich, even if Sheffield United do stay up, which I think they will, to be fair, I don't think they'll go down, but even if they do stay up, it's still not been a successful season for them. They still should have been expecting a lot better than this.
Yeah.
But, and I'd have concerns about Sheffield United going forward next season because their parachute payments stop next year, don't they? So this is where you're going to have to sort of really work with what you've got in that sense. They probably missed their chance last season to go up, obviously, when they were ahead against Sunderland in the playoff final. So,
sorry, against who, Mike?
Against Sunderland in the playoff final.
Surprised Michael's mentioned that.
Against a certain team in the semi-finals that was quite even until the red card changed everything.
Sorry, I don't know. I can't remember that. That's just blank.
Yeah, I think it was Bristol Rovers, wasn't it?
I knew it was going to get a fight. I knew it was going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, joking aside, I think Yeah, I mean, this is going to be. I mean, to be fair, Chris Wilder does make a good. There was a quote here from the BBC Sport, and he said, "Sheffield United can decide direction of the season." And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not being funny. When you're comparing it to like, I think Jamal Lowe's decent, for example, up front, and Ike Ogbo. I know he's not had the best of times at Chef Wed joining permanently, but when you're comparing them to the likes of your Tom Cannon and your Patrick Bamford's and your Tyrese Campbell's and whatever else you got,
Danny Ings. Yeah.
Danny Ings, there's a clear difference in quality going forward, isn't there? So, like I've said, I think Sheffield United, I do have concerns next season, even if they are in the Championship, because last season, missing out to Sunderland in the playoff final, I think they did miss their chance to go up. But I do think for this season, even if they do stay up, obviously it's still not been a success, but I think they'll take that now, that's for sure. But yeah, I think in this game, they were decent enough, decent as what they had to be to win the game, and they were still fairly comfortable, really.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, if this does not improve their season, then they might as well pack up and go home.
Yeah, no, it's huge.
And just to clear a bit, that they've got Portsmouth at home on Wednesday night. That's another game I think there needs to be a victory for them, really. Or at the very least, if you don't win, at the very least, get a point and build on the win at Sheff Wed. Get an unbeaten run going. And when I say unbeaten run, I'm talking like a 10-12 game unbeaten run, something like that. Because they've got the players to do it, in my opinion. It's just
they do. They should do it.
You know.
And especially what they do in January is going to be vital as well, too. Because
keep themselves in touch going into January and then see what happens. Stranger things have happened before.
Absolutely. So
and now Sheffield United surging up and finishing 6th now, I've said that. But there you go. Bristol City, Sheffield United, round 2 in the playoffs.
No, I think
no, not for Bristol City. No, they've suffered enough. They've suffered enough. I'm backing Addy on this one. They've suffered enough with this one.
Yeah,
rivals aren't the richest club in the world. But there you go. We'll see. Right, go on. Actually, there was another unintentional. This time was an unintentional segue. Do we want to have Andy to talk about how either Bristol City were good or how Swansea were bad, or a mixture of both?
Go on, Annie. We'll let you take the floor.
Yeah, good win. No coincidence that we get some of our better players back into the squad, and hallelujah, the performance is miles better, and we comfortably
that
beat.
Turn from me, for
oh
you.
My lord,
yeah.
Oh my god, that is unreal. Nemeti, he's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, he's been fantastic this season. A lot of the attention has been Scott Twine because of his free kicks and stuff like that. And Nemeti has been our best sort of creative player going forward. He's been outstanding. And of course, he's out of contract in the summer. So,
yeah. Get that
again.
Memeti. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, Memeti. Yeah, not Memeti.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
It might be Memesi at this point. He's been fantastic. Yeah, hat-trick, absolutely brilliant. And his set pieces have improved so much since he joined us a couple of Januaries ago now, so he's been here a little while. But he's been fantastic this season. The goal output has been brilliant, and even if he's not sort of always in and involved in games, he'll just find a way to pull something out of the bag. I remember Oxford at home, where 45, 50 minutes he was sort of quiet, not really doing much, and then bang, gets the ball from a corner and then bends into the top corner. He's just a sort of player Anis Memeti is. He's been fantastic. But the more pertinent story, I think, from my perspective, is look at the bench we fielded on Saturday. Jason Knight, Cam Pring, Mark Sykes, all back on the bench. 3 pretty crucial players. Jason Knight is the cog in this Bristol City team. He is the player to rely on. And straight away, within 5 minutes of coming on, he gets the ball, turns someone in midfield, plays an absolutely beautiful pass, just plays it into the Swansea fullbacks, and Mark Sykes gets on it. Another player who's coming back from injury puts in a wicked ball, and we nearly score another. So that's the quality we've been missing in this little run of not winning. And the goals yesterday was brilliant. And we seem to score at very good times. When we win games, we scored early on. We scored within the first 4 minutes or 5 minutes from a set piece. And then Emil Rees scores to make it 2-0 from an Anis Memeti. Well, that second ball is absolutely brilliant as well. by the way, that crossing is superb. And the third goal is it's funny because Sinclair Armstrong is down on the floor with cramp, and you can see that sort of on the left hand side of Anis. I think Anis is a little bit undecided on whether to kick the ball out or play it backwards and just keep the ball and wait for the treatment for Armstrong, or he sees Hirakawa and then it's an absolutely unbelievable 3-0. And I said this during the international break on one of my videos where I did a little season review at this point. Once we get our injured players back, we'll be competitive. And the fact that we've won one game and we've got some of our injured players back, we're in fourth, going into a hectic run of fixtures. I think we'll be very, very competitive. Look, December fixture-wise looks horrible. Coventry away is one of them. We've got some difficult fixtures in December. No shying away from that. I think Middlesbrough in that Ashton Gate in there as well.
I've just seen it. You've got Millwall, Leicester, both at Ashton Gate, trip to Coventry, Middlesbrough at home, and then trips to West Brom and Millwall. And I think on New Year's Eve. Yeah, okay. Sorry, go on.
That reeks. I mean, that's horrible. Straight out of hell, that. But I think we've got once we have players back, which is hopefully should be relatively soon, and Zach Viner went back into the centre of defence yesterday. He looked very assured. A couple of marauding runs from him. I thought we were good. But in the first half, at half time, I said this in my Matchday vlog, I didn't think we were exceptional. I didn't think we were that great, but we were 2-0 up. So we're finding ways to somewhat just get points, despite not being absolutely brilliant and free-flowing. But second half, I thought we were miles better than Swansea, who, the less said about them, the better, I think.
Yeah, especially this, but then prospective new head coach Victor Matos, who was formerly at Liverpool, was in the stands, and he actually did take his seat by the time you lot took the lead from Rob Dickey's end. So.
To be fair, can I say for Bristol City, looking at your fixtures in January in general don't look too bad. To come back.
That's the games we'll lose, Michael. Those are the games we'll lose.
Right, so Bristol City 0, Portsmouth 1, Bristol City 1, Preston 2, Oxford 2, Bristol City 1.
Sounds about right.
Probably Ipswich 1, Bristol City 2, known at this point.
3-0 Bristol City.
Sheffield Wednesday 3 and Bristol City 1, Derby 2. There we go.
Yeah, something like
that. So by that logic, you're going to win a load of games in December and then lose a shit ton in January. And he's going to be like, yes, we might have a chance of second. No, we're not. Never mind. Championship.
I will say, I think I'd be very, very pleasantly surprised if we're sort of in around the top 4 mix. I don't think we're that far off. And I've seen a load of people going, even Bristol City are 4th, and this league must be really crap. Then
I'm completely forgetting you finished top 6 last season.
We're not that bad. We've probably beaten you this season. We're not that bad. Funnily enough, the people that are saying it normally we've just beaten them. So. Don't know what that makes
you didn't beat us this season. You did last season, but not this season. This season, yes, in the FA Cup.
But yeah, I think I'd be surprised if we stay the course. I think we're 4th at the minute or 5th. I'd be surprised. Yeah. I think I'd be surprised if we're in a top 4 contention. And we normally say if we want to get promoted in this division, recent evidence has suggested you want to finish in the top 4. Really, 5th and 6th is obviously still possible, but it's much harder. Because the points differential in recent seasons. But I think we've got a good chance of finishing the playoffs again. I think we've got a strong squad. I think we've been severely hampered by injuries, and that's not an excuse because it's happened season upon season. It happened at a crucial time last year going into the playoffs, and we were severely affected by that in the playoff semi-final. But hopefully we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully we get some of our best players back and fit and firing into the team, and we start winning more games, because actually, even with the injuries, we've been very competitive. I mean, we won 3 in a row and we had quite a few injuries then. So I think we're quite a good team, and I think people are hopefully going to start seeing that sooner rather than later, because I think we've got a pretty decent core of players, and I've been saying that for a long time.
Carl, after this, what do you think about Bristol City's chances this season? Now we're a third of the way through.
I think it's interesting, because like I say, you're only 4 points behind Middlesbrough, which I did not expect. I said to Levy,
Carl, can I just stop you right there? I am not even thinking about top two. I'm thinking about holding on to a playoff position.
yeah, I know. I know about the top two. I know. I'm saying but I'm going to talk about the playoffs. And I said the teams that are above at the moment, the teams that should be competing, should be only way above you guys, such as Ipswich, Leicester City, and even particularly Sheffield United, where they are at the bottom of the
Southampton
table,
as well.
and Southampton as well. I'm just, it's like it's like I don't know if you're not thinking about the top two, but the teams that you're above at the moment, they should be very competitive. You guys should be in, like, say, the latter playoff contenders, like fifth and sixth. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, because you're 4 points off second, which is like it's not a massive difference. But like I said, it's the teams that who should be competing already at this time, way ahead of you guys, like 10 points ahead of you guys, and are not. And it's surprising how much, like I said, Bristol have capitalized on those opportunities. Have kept, and like I said, with Ipswich, drawing, you're still a couple points ahead of them, which is good enough. But 2 points. So, like I said, those are the teams that should be competing. But like I said, for you guys, I think the playoff where you are at the playoffs is really good. Like I said, it's now the biting point comes between December and January now, which is like where things will get very sticky and tough as well. With the running as well, because like I said,
And can I just say, January, I would not be surprised, considering minimal spend in summer. I would not be surprised especially if Antoine Semenyo goes for a lot of money. That's going to be a lot of money coming our way.
Yeah,
Would not be surprised if there's some spend and there's some actual sort of
Right,
statement.
someone get your checkbook out. £65 million release clause for Antoine Semenyo. That would be lovely.
Please, I think it's about 20% sell-on clause
That's
on
a
any
joke, by the
profit.
way. We will not sign Antoine Semenyo, but I would love to.
You've already done it once.
Well, yeah, true. True.
I was going to say 20% sell-on clause on any profit. So if it is 65 million, those figures are to be believed.
I think your board then would think then if say Antoine Semenyo did leave in January, I personally don't think he will leave in January. I think it'll be the summer if he goes. But I think if he did go in January, your board might as well look at that and think this season's a good chance to try and go for it. And even if you got players to get you into the top six this season, have a crack. If they were permanent signings, even if you didn't go up, you've got them for the next season, haven't you? So
you just look at the Championship. I mean, obviously, a load of people saying, "Oh, it's a crap league." The door's open. That's why they're saying it. The door is open because the parachute team's not performing well. So a team like Bristol City, well, if there is a real opportunity here, like there was last season, to just walk right through it and go, "Thank you very much. We'll take fifth or fourth or sixth or whatever." And have a crack at promotion. So, yeah, there's a real opportunity. And maybe if you finish fourth, you might come up against a team who are also sort of surprise package in there. So look, I think there might be some spending in January because of hopefully a big Antoine Semenyo sale and a lack of spend.
He's going to be keeping an eye out going, Go on, Man City, go on. Get your checkbook out, go on. Just activate the release clause, go on.
Yeah, I think there's a timeline. I think there's a 2-week timeline on that. Anyway, not important. Semenyo coupled with the fact that there was a lack of spend in the summer. So the FFP, hopefully the wiggle room for FFP is there, and actually we can go and sign 2 or 3 quality Championship ready players who are gonna take us. Maybe not start every game, but take us, just improve the quality of the squad.
Improve your depth, yeah. But to be fair, if you offered the position you're in right now, I'm guessing you'd snap your hand off for that 4th place.
Oh my God, 4th place would be brilliant, yeah.
And by the way, just to say, if you finish 4th, then based on the last 2 seasons, that means congratulations, Bristol City, you've won the playoffs. Because Southampton 23-24 and Sunderland 24-25. You finish 4th the last 2 seasons, you win the playoffs and go up. So I can imagine Annie's a Wembley Matchday vlog or something and just go, this is officially the best day of my life.
We've lost 3-0.
And then he woke up and realised we beat, Southampton 1-0 and Russell Martin Southampton 1-0 in the playoff
final. The less to say about for Annie, so the better for him because he just wants it to take it game by game, don't you?
Yeah.
You just don't want to. You don't want to focus miles ahead. So
no. But you're in a good position too, by the way, just to make it clear. As long as you maintain a healthy points per game ratio for the next 30 games. Yeah. Or the way to look at it, and it's not as simplistic as this, but if you get to say 76 points, for example, I think that's good. I think how tight it is, I think that's going to have a good chance of you getting into the playoffs with that number. Bearing in mind, because of how tight it is, teams are taking points off each other, so the points tally you need could be going down a little bit. So, yeah, I think get 50 points from 30 games. It's achievable.
And if you go back to last season, if you remember, obviously we have a complete different scenario, different manager. We started the season sort of poorly, and about January time, I told you guys, I sat here and went, yeah, this team's not capable of finishing the top 6, but we got significantly better as the season went on. So if that pattern forms, and we've had a much better start this season, who knows? Who knows? We could do something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Gentlemen, we've come to the end of the show. Thank you very much. Let's get through to the table of the Championship at the moment as well. So you see at the top of the table, Coventry now at 7 points ahead of Middlesbrough. Bristol City, the only team that won, also did win as well. They moved up to 4th, and it's only a point difference between like say Hull City, who are ahead of Ipswich, Birmingham, and Leicester City, and Watford are not too far behind, only 2 points behind as well, with Derby and Chatfield at the bottom of the table. As I said, nothing has changed, but it was a huge win for Sheffield United. They're now 4 points, 5 points clear ahead of Norwich City, and Sheffield Wednesday is still on -4, with Oxford, the only team that drew, but the only 2 winners in that bottom 6 were Blackburn and Portsmouth as well. So, yeah, that is the end of the show, everyone. Thank you very much for everyone who's joined us and messages in as well. We'll be back at the same time next week at 8 p.m. here on for the Championship Review here on the Total Levy Football Podcast. Myself and Doug should be back on doing the 20 later this week. That should be hopefully recorded either Monday, at least Tuesday, at least, and should be uploaded around Wednesday. I'll be back here to do the Saturday show as well next Saturday at 11 a.m. with Stefan and also Reese as well. So yeah, please keep an eye on content and keep an eye on these guys' contents as well too. And yeah, thank you very much. Glad guys, there's no international break now till March, so it gives us a full steam ahead of doing some content as well. So especially the stop and start we've had the last 2 months. So yeah.
I hate international breaks so much. Oh, good God. Unless we start dropping down the Premier League, then in which case bring it back. But we'll wait and see.
Yeah,
see where all of our clubs are. This will be interesting to see where all of our clubs are by the time the next international break comes around. We're assuming it's not for another 4 months. So
yeah, well,
let's see whether
top of the league.
What, you're saying Sunderland will be top of the Premier League? That's ambitious, Annie.
Nah, that's not what I meant, Michael. But
no, you did.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
we can all be top of the
so
league.
Rovers turn it round and go top of League 2.
How about we all be top of the league?
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, well, fair enough there. I mean, to be fair, if you want to go really negatively, if you want Bristol Rovers to go down, why don't you flip League 2 upside down? Then they'll be top of the league. Win the relegation trophy.
I'm not going to bite. Not biting yet. Not yet.
So
yeah, we'll see. Thanks very much for having us, though, Carl.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'll speak to you guys behind the green room screen, so in green room. So I'll let you guys get off as well. But thank you very much as well. I'll speak to you guys after once the show is done. So yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
And thank you very much for both of them as well. We'll be back on the same time next week at 8 p.m. here on the Totally Here Football Podcast. That's all from me, from everyone. We'll see you guys soon. Take it for now. That's bye from me.